All right, let's get into it. Today, we are talking about a show that completely rewrote the rules of television, one episode at a time. This is the story of Venice, the series, explained. Okay, so let me ask you this. How does a romance from a canceled TV show not only come back to life, but go on to win an Emmy? I mean, it sounds like something straight out of a Hollywood movie, right? A beloved story gets the axe. Fans bring it back from the brink, and it ends up winning major awards. It seems totally impossible, but here's the thing. It actually happened. The real question is, how on earth did they pull it off?
So, before we even get into the how, let's just lay out the facts, because this was no small thing. We're talking about a web series that won multiple daytime Emmys. It started way back in 2009, and it basically invented a new way to distribute a show. And on top of all that, it built this incredibly loyal fan base all over the world. It's a seriously amazing story.
Okay, so to really get what makes this series tick, you have to understand its world. So let's go. We're heading to Venice Beach, California. This is the backdrop for a show that took everything you thought you knew about soap operas and gave it this really cool, modern, edgy spin.
Right at the heart of everything is our main character, Gina Brogno. Think of her as our guide through this world. She's this successful, self-made interior designer. She's openly gay, and she's trying to figure out all the messy, complicated stuff. Her career, her family, her love life, all in this super vibrant, kind of bohemian Venice beach scene.
And listen, Gina is not your typical soap opera hero. The creators themselves called her a strong, confident, complex career woman who sees the world through an intense yet thoughtful prism. And that's exactly it, right? It was that complexity, that depth, that just really clicked with people and made her a character you couldn't look away from.
And really, that was the show's secret sauce. It took all the stuff we love about classic soap operas, the big romance, the crazy plot twists, all the family drama, and then it wrapped it up in this edgy, smart format that was just perfect for the internet. It was literally the best of both worlds.
But where did all this even come from? Well, the backstory of Venice is honestly just as dramatic as anything that happened on screen. So let's pull back the curtain and get into the real story behind the story.
Okay, so here it is. This is the key. The whole series was basically born from the ashes of a canceled CBS soap opera called Guiding Light, which ended its historic run in 2009. Now, for fans who were following one particular romance on that show, the cancellation was just devastating. It was like the ultimate cliffhanger. But for the show's creator, Crystal Chapel, it wasn't an ending. It was a beginning.
See, on Guiding Light, there was this romance between two characters, Olivia and Natalia, that people were just obsessed with. Fans loved them so much they even gave them one of those blended couple names, a portmanteau. They mashed Olivia and Natalia together to get Otalia. And that name, Otalia, it wasn't just a nickname, it became this massive rallying cry for this huge, passionate fan base.
So the connection here is super direct. The same actors who played Otalia, Crystal Chapel, and Jessica Licia brought that incredible chemistry with them from network TV right over to this new web series. Now, for legal reasons, they couldn't be Olivia and Natalia anymore, so their new characters were Gina and Ani. But for the fans, this was it. This was the continuation of the story they had poured their hearts into.
But this wasn't just about picking up one romance. The creator, Crystal Chapel, was really clear that her vision was much bigger. She said that at its core, Venice was a show about families and life and all the simplicity of it and the turmoil of it. It was about everything, the quiet moments, the chaos, the stuff that makes us all human.
So the creative vision was fantastic, but honestly, the business side of things was absolutely revolutionary. I mean, Venice didn't just tell a different kind of story, it built a whole new way of delivering that story to the people who wanted it. And it did it by completely sidestepping the old school studio system.
And what a journey it was. It kicked off in 2009, just on YouTube. They put up free episodes to see who was out there, and it worked. By the time they got to season 3, they made a huge leap to Vimeo and pioneered this direct-to-fan subscription service. A couple of years after that, boom, they're holding their first Emmy. And it didn't stop there. They just released a 7th season in 2025.
Now, that move to a subscription model, that was the real game changer. By asking fans to pay directly for the content, the creators just cut out the middleman entirely. The audience became the network. Their money wasn't just funding another season, it was proof. Proof that a passionate community could keep a show alive and thriving all on its own.
I mean, just let that sink in for a second. 7 seasons? That's over a span of 15 years. For an indie web series, that is practically unheard of. It's just this incredible testament to the bond between the people making the show and the fans all over the world who supported it.
So, after all this time, what's the big takeaway? What's the lasting impact of Venice, the series? Let's talk about its legacy, because this show is way more than just a fan favorite. It's a genuine piece of television history.
And it wasn't just the fans who were paying attention. The critics were too. The show didn't just get a few nominations here and there. It won Daytime Emmys. It took home the big award in its category in 2011 and then did it again in 2014. This was massive. It proved that a little web series could go head-to-head with the giants of network TV.
And don't think for a second that this is all just ancient history. The story is still going. When they dropped a brand new 7th season in February 2025, it just proved that the love for these characters and their world is as powerful as it ever was. It's a living, breathing story that's still unfolding.
Which brings us right back to where we started. When you step back and look at the whole picture, a canceled storyline, a fan base that refused to give up, a totally new way of making TV, and more than a decade of success, you just have to ask, is Venice the series the ultimate proof of fan power? Is this what happens when fans love a story so much they can literally will it back into existence against all odds?
So what do you think? If you enjoyed digging into this story with us, do us a favor and hit that like button, and definitely subscribe so you don't miss our next explainer. But we really want to know what you think. What is the biggest legacy of Venice the series? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear them. Thanks so much for watching.